was doing. I've been quite some time now. Not some time, but almost a week now. I've now spoken to my loyal viewers, and today I'm back to talk to you about a favorite topics. Today we'll be going to cover different topics. We'll cover the African Cup of Nations that'll be happening tomorrow in Ivory Coast. 24 countries will be participating in the African Cup of Nations. Uh, there are six. There are six venues, five venues that will be hosting the African Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast. We get Abigan, Yamoussoukro, and Yamoussoukro, San Pedro. San Pedro is not too far from where I come from in Maryland County, Liberia. So I know most of my people from Liberia will be going to visit, going to see some of the African Cup of Nations games in the Ivory Coast. Also, Koroko and Boake will be hosting the tournament. So there are different states that will different cities that will be hosting some of the games. We'll also talk about Joe Biden's Joe Biden launched his 2024 re-election campaign, and he focuses his campaign on democracy. The Biden administration is trying to focus on democracy because they feel that Donald Trump, who is the current Republican frontrunner, is a threat to democracy, especially when Trump refused to accept the results. His some of his supporters, went to the Capitol building and tried to stop the certification of Joe Biden. How do you call this? Election victory. So we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about the Alaska plane that Alaska airline that the window got blown up in May. I know it was scary. I'll be traveling to Bahamas in February, and this is scary. So we'll talk about that on our travel section. Then we'll talk about Hollywood, the big how they call it, the Golden Globe. I don't really watch Golden Globe, but I think for those who are in the film industry, that is something I've been looking up to, and I want to celebrate. I want to celebrate. I want to celebrate people's accomplishment. So we'll also talk about that. Then we'll talk about Defense Secretary Lord Austin, right? Lord Austin on hospitalization, and which we kept on the wraps. We'll talk about that, and we'll also talk about the United States and Great Britain just strike Hutu rebels targets in Yemen, and that story we'll talk about here. So that begin. We'll come to the African Cup of Nations, but that begin with Joe Biden 2024 re-election campaign bids. President Biden launched his re-election campaign with speeches in South Carolina and in Pennsylvania, and his whole campaign, instead of focusing on the accomplishment in the past 3 or so years of his administration, he's focusing a good bit of his campaign here in Kamala Harris, focusing a good bit of the campaign on democracy. And I think the strategy here is that without democracy, it's going to be impossible for us to do anything, and so they are focusing their campaign on democracy. The Biden campaign is saying that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. When Donald Trump is elected, is going to be a serious problem. Is elected again, it's going to be a serious problem for American democracy. I don't know whether you agree, but I supported Chris Christie. As you know, Chris Christie just dropped out of the Republican primary on Wednesday. He announced that you're dropping out, and I hope that Chris Christie will endorse Mickey Haley, because I, for one, as a Republican who been given to Chris Christie, that now Chris Christie is out of the race, I will start giving my $10 monthly contribution to Nikki Haley, and I hope Nikki Haley do well or win in Iowa and win in New Hampshire, because if she does that, it's going to tell American people, it's going to tell Republicans that there is a need for change. Because I might be wrong, but most Americans outside of being a die-hard Republican would not want a Trump president. Would not want Trump to be the president. So Biden's strategy will go out of the window if at all Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis is elected, or it wins Iowa, when Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley wins Iowa or New Hampshire. So the Biden campaign is going to make it difficult if all Trump is nominated as a Republican primary, as a Republican nominee in these primaries. Because look at what's happening. Trump has almost 91 charges against him. And I know that his supporters, his die-hard supporters, will say this is politically motivated. But I don't know who could have 91 charges against them, will still say everything is politically motivated. Even in states like Georgia, where Republicans are in control of everything, and he's charged in Iowa, in Georgia, for trying to overturn the elections. So Joe Biden is campaigning on democracy, to protect democracy in America, and he's saying that to do that we should not elect Donald Trump. I think we don't give Joe Biden any ammunition to fire against Donald Trump by electing Donald Trump, by selecting Donald Trump as our candidate. I think we need to take, my choice would be Nikki Haley right now. But if DeSantis is prevailing the primary, I think we have a good chance of winning. But from my own calculation, if I always select Donald Trump as a Republican primary, as a Republican nominee, it's going to be a defeat again for the Republican Party. That's just me. I know other people get their own interpretation for that. Let's move on to the African Cup of Nations. For those of you who don't follow the African Cup of Nations, the African Cup of Nations is it happens every 2 years, and it goes to different countries. You know, it rotates. It's just like if you follow the Eurofighter, that is European Nation Cup 2, they also have that. I don't know whether it happens every year in Europe, but African Cup of Nations happens every 2 years, and this year will be taking place in the Ivory Coast. And there are a lot of African players, African players in the Bundesliga, you know, in Germany, the La Liga in Spain, the Premier League in England, the League One in France. A lot of players will be descending on the continent and going to the Ivory Coast to play in the African Cup of Nations. In the African Cup of Nations, African Cup of Nations. What my prediction about who's going to win? I think most football analysts are saying that Morocco, semi-finalists of the past World Cup, is one of the favorites to win the African Cup of Nations. I think Morocco stands a good chance. Senegal does stand a good chance. Egypt stands a good chance. I call that name. Ghana and Nigeria, you know. Even Guinea. I know Guinea too. I think Guinea. A lot of people are not looking at Guinea, but I think Guinea has a very good chance too. And one of the players I'll be following is Greasy. He plays for, I think, Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga, and he's a very good player. I think for now, I would say Greasy from Guinea. I think he's the best African player right now. I know Salah from Egypt is also in Germany, the La Liga in Spain, the Premier League in England, the League One in France. A lot of players will be descending on the continent and going to the Ivory Coast to play in the African Cup of Nations. In the African Cup of Nations, African Cup of Nations. What my prediction about who's going to win? I think most football analysts are saying that Morocco, semi-finalists of the past World Cup, is one of the favorites to win the African Cup of Nations. I think Morocco stands a good chance. Senegal do stand a good chance. Egypt stands a good chance. I call that name. Ghana and Nigeria, even Guinea. I know Guinea too. I think Guinea. A lot of people are not looking at Guinea, but I think Guinea has a very good chance too. And one of the players I'll be following is Greasy. He plays for, I think, Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga, and he's a very good player. I think for now I would say Greasy from Guinea. I think he's the best African player right now. I know Salah from Egypt is also a very great player, but I think when I start following the Bundesliga, I think Gracie is a very good player, and he's going to provide significant firepower for Guinea in the tournament. But one thing I was so disappointed about when it comes to the African Cup of Nations was the prize money of the African Cup of Nations. The prize money for the winner of this year African Cup of Nations is going to be $7 million. And I think, let me say that the Africans footballer, right? What I observed when I was on the continent of Africa, because as I always told you guys, I'm originally from Liberia in West Africa. When I was on the continent, almost all of the African players in the different big leagues. When I say different big leagues, I mean the English Premier League, the Bundesliga in Germany, the Serie A in Italy, the League One in France. That's where most of the African top players play. I know some of them are playing in Saudi Arabia now, but most of the big names players from the continent, like Salah and Ayew, and you name the other African players that play in European league, mostly European leagues. All of them wanted to play for the country. It's a big thing for those guys to come and play for the country. They want to come to the continent and contribute, to play for the countries. So Africans always look up to that tournament, and those players come down. But if at all you have 24 countries playing in this tournament, soccer is the biggest tournament, is the biggest sport on the continent. Most other countries don't play any other, other sport but soccer. So if the prize money is $7 million, a continent of population of 1.4 billion, and almost everybody plays soccer. I think the prize money is so small. I'm saying small because look at I was listening to the NBA stuff, NBA in season tournament, right? The Los Angeles Lakers won, and the prize money was $18 million. $18 million. I don't know how much the NBA championship money is, but I think it's far bigger than that. But one thing I was so disappointed about when it comes to the African Cup of Nations was the prize money of the African Cup of Nations. The prize money for the winner of this year African Cup of Nations is going to be $7 million. And I think, let me say that the Africans footballer, right? What I observed when I was on the continent of Africa, because as I always told you guys, I'm originally from Liberia in West Africa. when I was on the continent, all the African players, almost all of the African players in the different big leagues. When I say different big leagues, I mean the English Premier League, the Bundesliga in Germany, the Serie A in Italy, the League One in France. That's where most of the African top players play. I know some of them are playing in Saudi Arabia now, but most of the big names players from the continent, like Salah and Ayu, and you name the other African players that play in European league, mostly European leagues. All of them wanted to play for the country. It's a big thing for those guys to come and play for the country. They want to come to the continent and contribute, to play for the countries. So Africans always look up to that tournament, the tournament, and those players come down. But if at all you have 24 countries playing in this tournament, that's soccer is the biggest tournament, is the biggest sport on the continent. Most other countries don't play any other, other sport, but soccer. So if the prize money is $7 million, a continent of population of 1.4 billion, and almost everybody plays soccer. I think the prize money is so small. I'm saying small because look at I was listening to the NBA in season tournament, right? That won the Los Angeles Lakers won, and the prize money was $18 million. $18 million. I don't know how much the NBA championship money is, but I think it's far bigger than that. So when you get African Cup of Nations, the title is $7 million. I think that's just a very, very small money. I don't know how they get that. I know the second place and the third place. Second place, let's say, will be getting about $3 million. Then the second place, $3 million, and the third place will be getting about $1.7 million. But overall, I don't think it's about money. I don't think it's about money because people like Onana, Samamani, and Greasy, and how they call it, Ziag, and these guys who make big money, in Europe. I don't think it's about the money. Equally so, we have seen and heard how African players go to the World Cup, African Cup of Nations. There's a big argument about they don't get any allowances and stuff like that. So I think there's a need for the African football to try to address the prize money and other things that the continent football needs. And not just that, we have to also try to improve soccer in every country, building football academies in Liberia and countries that don't have the resources to build football or soccer academies, to improve the game, at the local level. Because when I was growing up in Liberia playing soccer, I played soccer up to high school level. Now I have a coaching license, and in soccer, playing soccer in Liberia, we used to play soccer just on our own, just play by the soccer ball and just play on our own. There is no structure. We just play. Maybe somebody who is a good player try to direct us and play. So it was not until I went to a Catholic school and St. Francis School in Maryland, Cleveland, Maryland County. For those of you familiar with that area, and that we had a coach. And then when I went to Zredri Multilateral High School, where I was goalkeeper number 2, and we had a coach from the Ivory Coast and Ghana. 2 coaches one from Ivory Coast and one from Ghana. and I start to see a little bit of structure in how, I have somebody directing a program, for kids playing soccer. So the African Cup of Nations, you're going to see a lot of players. You got 24 players coming out of the Bundesliga. I think about 37 players coming out of English Premier League. So you're going to have an array of players from all across the continent and all across the big leagues, in Europe, going to play in the African Cup of Nations. The African Cup of Nations, the current holder of the title is Senegal, and Senegal, they have been having a very good team, and they hope to defend the title, but I think it's going to be very difficult, for Senegal. It's not impossible, but I think it's going to be difficult for Senegal to defend her title. So we'll be keeping our eye. The tournament starts tomorrow. Ivory Coast will be facing Guinea-Bissau in the opening game. The host country will be opening game. There are two stadiums in Abigan that will be the other tournament, other cities that will be hosted. But in Abigan, you have the Hifo-Boigny Stadium and the Alassane Ouattara stadiums, both in Abidjan. They will be hosting two of the. They'll be hosting some of the games. As I say, I hope my brothers and sisters in Liberia here, because from San Pedro to Maryland is now far. So I know that some Liberians will go and watch some of the games in Ivory Coast. But this all comes back to the economic situation of these countries, and most of these African countries, are not economically wealthy, so it becomes difficult for people to take time out of their business, to take time out of their hustling to go to these games. So we will be keeping our eyes on the African Cup of Nations. It kicks off tomorrow, and we hope to see electrifying football, and we hope to see a homegrown talent. I hope not all the players are coming from abroad. We hope that some local talents, are going to be playing the tournament, to see how local talents are contributing. Another thing, another point I want to talk about again is Lord Austin the third, who is the current U.S. Defense Secretary. Lord Austin had an elective procedure, a medical procedure at the Walter Reed Army Medical Center in D.C. Is it in D.C. or is it in Maryland? It's in Maryland. And one of the controversies that have been going on is that he didn't tell the White House, that he was having this medical procedure. And this raised a lot of eyebrows, and Vice President Pence and Tom Cotton of Arkansas, and Tom Cotton, who's the chair on the Armed Services Committee, and other people raised a concern why the Secretary of Defense should go and have an elective procedure and were off work for some days. And I don't know whether he's back now. He was off work for some days. It's on January 1st. And there have been he didn't tell anybody until the information came out. So people are calling for his resignation. But former Vice President Pence was saying that, he thinks it's a delegation of duty, for the Secretary of Defense, who is the sixth in line of presidential succession. I was saying that, but my wife was saying that. What the fuck? He's sixth in line for presidential succession, sixth in line. That's too far. So what does that have to do with anything? Well, I know we look at it from from the governmental perspective. We want our government officials to be transparent, but then how does this coincide with HIPAA? There's a law You know, HIPAA, there's a law, you know, where you have to keep people medical record, medical information private. I don't know. I'm not at that level where the guys are the highest, you know, they're in the highest echelon of government, and maybe they have different requirements. They have different prescription as to how when they call out from work that where they have to do. So for me, I work for the state government. So you know, sometimes when I'm not feeling well, I call out. I say, look, I'm not feeling well. I'm not coming in today. I don't have to tell my supervisor that I'm not coming in today because I have prostate cancer or I have a running stomach, and I don't have to tell them that. Why you not coming in? Oh, I'm not feeling well. If you know if I give out the information as to why I'm not coming up and coming to work, you know, out of my own volition, that is different. But my supervisor is not going to. Why, you know, you're not coming to work? What's the specific situation as well as Z? You know, most time when I say I'm not feeling well today, I'm not coming in, and that's it. But for law Austin, you know, he's you know, enormous amount of pressure right now. People are calling for a resignation, you know. But for those who are African Americans, I just got to know that law Austin had a procedure for prostate cancer, and I was listening to something on ABC where they are saying African American men, one in five African American men will be, you know, diagnosed with, you know, prostate cancer, and most of us are African Americans. We are always ashamed of, you know, coming up to say that we have prostate cancer, because of the stigma, you know, because of stigmatization. You know, you always, you know, frequent urination, lack of intimacy. You don't have sex with your wife, you know, for a long amount of time. No sexual desire. So most African American men keep that on the wraps. You know, they don't want to. So why is true that Austin didn't reveal his medical situation initially, but it just been revealed that he had a procedure for prostate cancer. So the whole thing that he just boils around you know, African American men who you know, having medical problems and don't want to, you know, want people to know. And I don't think just, you know, not just Austin, but it's most of us as African American men. You know, we don't want people to know of our medical problems. Not just African American men. I mean, I'll restrict it. That's what they were saying on ABC. I know ABC, local ABC. It says ABC in the area I live in Philadelphia area. We're trying to say, well, you know, African American man. There was a guy, African American man, who gave his own, you know, experience. He's not 70, you know. He had a situation 55, were very hefty. You know, when he went for a routine medical check, and they found out that he had no. He went. He said he went for to get life insurance, and then they did a routine medical routine exam, and found out that he had a prostate cancer. He was rejected for getting the insurance, so he tried to share his own experience, and now he's 50. He's 70 years of age, 70, 71 years old. So he was trying to say that African American men, some African American men, don't like to share their medical experience, especially when it comes to prostate cancer. So we got to share light on these things. For me, you know, it's sad that we as Americans have to carry Law Austin through all of this stress while he tried to deal with his own medical situation. And we had to take him through all this stress about, you know, we should reveal his it should come clear about why he was in the hospital, why he's dealing with this, all the media publicity, you know, media coverage on the situation. You know, it just really, really, I think it's very frustrating to see that going on. You know, people who have the medical situation, we also have medical problems before, and especially when you're getting up in age, like me now, I'm 55 years of age, and we are in that age group where we have to be coming down with these medical problems. For me, if I get those, you know, problems, you know, You know, people get the problems. You know, your doctor is to be the first person. You know, you tell. I don't know as I say, I don't know what the requirements are for people who at the level of law Austin. I don't know what the requirements are that you got to tell this person, you tell the person about your medical situation. But those are us who are, you know, work for government like the way I do, work for state government. You know, I just tell them, look, I'm not coming into work today. I'm not feeling well. You know, they don't require me to reveal why I'm not coming to work. So we wish Law Austin admitted that he needed to do a better job, you know, of communicating, you know, with the warehouse but the thing that is, Law Austin, you know, transfer power to a second in command, but the administrator they didn't tell the second in command that you know, he was not feeling well in the extent of his hospitalization. So that just bring a lot of issue. And I listened to Pat Ryder, who was the Pentagon spokesman. I was it last Thursday, and I didn't hear him, you know, say anything of a Law Austin hospital and was in the hospital for elective surgery. But the release of press statement that said they did. So, but those are us who are African Americans. We need to always do a check to check our prostate, and when you have it, it's not a death sentence as people, you know, some people think, you know. What I believe, you know, my father was a nurse for all his life, and he always said that if you get the sickness, you know, the thing that is to take your medication, and when the day comes for you to go, you go. You know, the word we live in here is a sick word. We will have to live through sicknesses. So I hope we can take the stress off Law Austin. Austin has to get a peace of mind to recover, you know, from whatever situation he faces with right now. I know Mike Pence and Tom Cotton and Senator Wicker, they all, you know, are talking about, you know, for transparency. But I know most senators in the U.S. are all above. Most of them are above 50, 60, 70. I don't think there are a lot of things people are telling them to reveal their medical situation. So we need to be very careful. As how do you call your name? Or Representative James Clyburn said, you know, hip hop, we ought to be careful because every American is entitled to privacy. He said every American is entitled to privacy. So law is entitled to privacy. So as I always say, I think I said it repeatedly. I don't know what requirements they are to fulfill when they are calling off sick. You know, whether they have to tell the warehouse because they are appointed officials, high-level officials in the government. So I don't know whether he has to tell the warehouse, you know, what his diagnosis, before he can take off. So we hope we wish he and his family well, and we hope to see him bounce back because right now the U.S. and Great Britain and Canada, Australia, and Bahrain, other countries have taken military action against the Hutu rebels in the Red Sea who have been attacking merchant ships in the Red Sea. So that is something that Austin's supposed to be, in charge of. But now he's in the hospital, and I think maybe a single in command is now taking over and directing those strikes against Hutu rebels in Yemen. And the Hutu rebels are vying retaliation after U.S. and Britain and the other countries led strikes against the Hutu rebels in the Red Sea. So our world is getting so dangerous, and Austin absence. And why it's true that he's supposed to, told his bosses about his absence. I think the Pentagon is a very huge organization that can do without Austin for the time he's going to recover. Folks, that was it for Austin, not telling the warehouse that he was in the hospital. But we as African American men, we should do our prostate. I will be doing my physical on the gym, my physical annual physical on February 20th, and I hope to do my prostate and see what's going on. We're getting up in age. 55, in my 56 now, and I have to be very particular about my health. So tell me what you think. You think Lord Austin needed to tell his bosses why he was out, or he just needed to tell them, say, look, I will not be, I'll be off work for maybe 2-3 weeks, for medical reasons. Let me know in the comment section. My own take here is I don't think we need to pressurize the defense secretary for that. Now let's go on to Alaska Airlines. Alaska Airlines about a week ago. I don't want to be on that plane. First of all, let me say I'm afraid of flying, and I will be flying to Florida to go to Bahamas on February the 10th. And I'm afraid of flying. Let me make this clear. I'm afraid of flying. I'm afraid of flying. The first time I flew in 2008, I got on a plane. I was so terrified. I was so scared. From Liberia to from Liberia to Brussels, from Brussels to New York, from New York to Philadelphia. I was afraid. I could not wait to get off the plane. I was afraid to get on the plane. I was afraid. I could not wait to get off the plane. So I'll be traveling, and Alaska Airlines had a terrible situation where the door, I don't want to be on that plane, the door fell off the plane. I think they found one of the piece from the door in the backyard of a school teacher. So the NSTB, National Transportation Board or something, is investigating that crash, and all of Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes are being grounded. Even in Turkey, they ground those planes. They are not flying. The jets are not flying. Alaska Airlines is also has also grounded most of the planes. So I don't know whether you think you will fly one of the planes after that terrible situation. Let me know in the comment section. But for me, as I say, I'm afraid of flying. But my single trip when I traveled to Liberia in 2017, it was not as afraid as I was when I traveled in 2008. And then when I went to Texas last year, 2 years ago, December. I was afraid, but not as afraid. But if you give me option to drive and to fly, my option would be to drive. I want to drive than to fly. I don't like fly. I'm afraid of heights. So Alaska Airlines had this terrible situation, and Boeing has been on the spotlight. Remember there was another accident of the Max, of the Boeing 737 MAX 9 that killed almost 100 plus people. And so there's latest development about the window blowing open, and passengers were terrified. Does that make you not to want not to fly a plane, or you just think this is just a isolated incident that will be fixed? I think it will be fixed, but Boeing is be having a very terrible PR disaster from all these situations. I don't know whether I want to fly these planes anyway, but hey, we live in a world where they say that flying is the safest mode of transport. So with all the things we have with this Boeing flight, Alaska Airlines, window falling off, they say that fly is the safest way of mode of transport. So, but the NSTB is investigating. The FBI is involved in the investigation. Boeing is cooperating with them. They are looking at all the planes to make sure that they are all safe. So we hope to see what happened. So let me know whether you think this situation is just an isolated situation, or you think that Boeing 737 Max 9, jets. You think they just, they need to be taken out of service, or what do you think? Let me know in the comment section. Folks, you are watching When the Dust Settle. Today we are covering the African Cup of Nations. African Cup of Nations is happening in Abigan, the Ivory Coast, tomorrow, starting, and the finals will be played on February 12th, and the NFL Super Bowl is also on that same day. So you have a rate of African players who will be going to, from Europe will be going to Africa. They are all in Africa now, waiting for tomorrow's game and the tournament to start. We also talk about we talk about Joe Biden launched his 2024 re-election bid by focusing on protecting democracy, and we think that I think that to make that that whole campaign irrelevant, that is a campaign that is built on tied around protecting democracy, to make it throw it off the window. Let us elect in the primary term, Republicans now. Let's elect Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis as our nominee for the 2024 presidential elections. We also talk about Lord Austin, and we talk about all of the reasons. We talk about Mark Pence, Tom Cotton, Wigger, and Claiborne, who is one of the permanent African Americans in the House of Representatives, who said that Lord Austin is, like every American, is entitled to privacy, but we African Americans, we have to try to make sure that we can go for our medical and physical exam annually, to check our prostate and check whatsoever we have, and treat it when we can. Everything is treatable. Most things are treatable, instead of us keeping it on the wraps. And with which the secretary of speedy recovery to John to come back to work, and us to having normal life with his family. I just want to say that in my last episode last week, I said South Africa had no moral standing to criticize or to take South Africa, to take Israel to the War Crime Court, the War International Court of Justice for genocide, quote unquote genocide. But whatsoever my take is on the issue, the court is now looking into that case that South Africa took. South Africa, as I said, South Africa also encouraged Russia to butcher people in Ukraine, but South Africa now is suing. We all want the war in Israel to end, the war between Israel and Hamas to end, but South Africa taking Israel to the war court for genocide. I think South Africa is being hypocritical. I will continue to say, I don't care what the outcome of that case will be, because I want the war in that place to end, Israel to stop its bombardment. I've made a lot of videos calling on Israel, that Israel can continue to keep the people in Palestine suppressing them, and making Gaza or the Palestinian territory to be the biggest prison on earth. But I don't think South Africa is the country. South Africa has been so bad to many Africans in South Africa. We have many experiences of events in which South Africans have been brutally beating up other Africans in that country. So, folks, that's one of the big news too about that. So for the past 43 minutes, we've been talking a lot of issues, and I just want to conclude this episode by saying that I want to say a big thank you to those of you who continue to watch our videos. For those of you who have subscribed to our videos, we will come to you every Thursday and every Friday between 10 to 12 o'clock, with breaking news. And today we're talking about the breaking news, the first thing that happened yesterday, the U.S. and Great Britain led international force, U.S., Great Britain, France, Bahrain, and other nations led international force to stop the attacks on merchant ships in the Red Sea. They struck Hutu targets in Yemen, and Russia, of all people, Russia and Iran that supply Russia with Shahad drones to kill innocent people in Ukraine is calling on the calling for United Nations Security Council to look into it. When Bahrain, that's when Yemen rebels, I'm not talking about a government, rebels having all of these sophisticated weapons and attacking merchant ship. Russia is calling for the United Nations, Russia, of all people. So the strikes were ordered by the UK and the United States on Houthi targets in Yemen. The Hutus are vile retaliation. Whatsoever the case is, folks, we all have to try to see how we can make our war a peaceful place. Then we talk about the African Cup of Nations. The African Cup of Nations is taking place in the Ivory Coast. Yamoussoukro will host one of the games. San Pedro will host one of the games, some of the games. And Hofo Stadium in Abigan and Alassane Ouattara Stadium in Abigan will also host the game. The tournament winner will get $7 million. The finalists will get almost $4 million. And the third place finisher will get close to $2 million. I say that the money is so small. Folks, my name is Pico Conway. Thank you very much for watching. Please listen to my watch our video. Comment in the section below. We cover Law Austin hospitalization. We cover Joe Biden 2024 election campaign that was that is focused around protecting democracy. We talk about Alaska Airlines, that blew off when it blew off. Whether you still want to be flying, I don't like flying. We talk about briefly talk about the Golden Globe. We don't have enough information, but we don't follow it that much. We start to give it a lot of thought. And we talk about most African players will be coming from Europe to the African Cup of Nations. And finally, we just talk about the strike that happened in Yemen. And the Hutu rebels are saying they are going to respond to that. You round back Hutu rebels in Yemen. You round back Hutu rebels in Yemen. So, folks, there you have it. My name is Pico Conway. Please don't forget to subscribe to When the Dust Settles on YouTube. Until next time, stay safe. I will talk to you when I talk to you. Have a great day and bye for now.